Hi everybody, I'm Zilla Blitz, and welcome to episode 10 in our series with American Truck Simulator. Today's a big day. We're going to finish the Idaho Spuds Event, getting our 7th potato delivery from Idaho. And we're also going to complete the Grown in Idaho achievement in the game, which is this one right here, where you have to make 5 deliveries of potatoes from farms that grow potatoes in Idaho. So we have 4 of them right now. We're going to get our 5th one, and without any delay, let's jump right in and find a contract that's going to help us to do that. So let's search for potatoes up here. Let's see what we've got. I was looking earlier and it looks like there's one to Eugene, Oregon that I'd like to get. Grain, no, that's not it. Okay, let's see if we can find it. Might take a second here. I'll be right back as soon as we find it. Yeah, here's the one we want. So Nampa, Idaho to Eugene, Oregon. And let's begin the delivery here. I'm excited. This is going to finish up the event. I'm not sure what you get for the event. Yeah, there's always like little trinkets and stuff like that you get for the trucks, which is kind of cool. I mean, you have to buy them, but it opens them up in terms of eligibility. So we'll check that out once we get this all settled in. But nice to finish up this event. And in the meantime, and since we've last been together, trailer is ready. Oh, it's right here where we are. Most excellent. So let's get our truck started up here. Looks like everything's working. We're going to get our lights on. High beams are good. Looks like we can just pull right up and get started here. Just adjust the wheel for a second. It's a little bit loose. All right, here we go. So it's right in front of us. Perfect. I thought we were going to have to drive a while to get there, but it looks like we don't. It's right here. Nice. All right. I'm going to back up, get this going here. Tight corner there, but we can make that. So it looks like it's about 1:50 in the morning now. So most of this drive, we have plenty. It looks like we might have, we have plenty of energy, reasonable amount of gas. So it looks like it's going to be somewhat of a night episode, which should be fine. Always good to do. So let's get this on the road here. Let's take a look first at our trailer. I think it's just a basic standard trailer here. Yep, nice long one. Perfect. Idaho potatoes from an Idaho farm. All right. This has been a fun event. It's been a very, I think, manageable event. Not a ton of, deliveries and things like that. Sometimes they're long. It's like the last one in Iberia, I think, was 20 deliveries, that's a pretty hefty event. This one, of course, with 7 is fairly kind of tame in terms of that regard. Got a little issue with the wheel I'm going to fix up, and then we'll continue on here. Alrighty, we are back. It's actually about a half an hour later in real time. The wheel had some kind of an issue where it wasn't centering. So it was all, and then the power wasn't getting to the wheel, so I couldn't really steer that well. This is an old wheel. It's a Logitech driving force. Oops, I should probably pay attention to the road too. And every once in a while, about once a month, the drivers kind of go wonky, so I have to uninstall this old driver that's about 10 years old and then reinstall it in order to be able to get it to work and stuff like that. And but this is the first time this particular problem has happened, where for whatever reason, the power, usually when I power up the wheel, the wheel centers. And it automatically centers, and so I get all the power going and it makes it go. But that didn't happen. And I couldn't figure out what was going on. So I uninstalled the drivers and reinstalled the drivers and things like that. But none of that seemed to help. And then finally I found something online that said you have to just power it down for at least like 15 seconds. So I tried that, and then everything powered up and it works again. So voila, we are back in business. I had to reinstall the drivers after that too. So, but it took like a half an hour to solve that little problem, which kind of makes me wonder. I wonder if it's time to invest in a new wheel, because this one now it's a great wheel. It's a fantastic wheel. I love the pedals. I love how it sits on the floor. I love the feeling of it. I just, everything's about it. It's nice and solid. It fits on the desk good and stuff like that. The only thing is, it's a 10-year-old wheel, and it's kind of reached its point of not being supported very well. So it doesn't work with the Logitech G Hub, their new device software management software. So I have to use this old driver to get it to work, which is kind of a pain. And then every once in a while it doesn't work and stuff like that. So I'm thinking, gosh, maybe it's time to get a new wheel. The only thing is, when I look at how much new wheels are, they're like $250. That's a lot of money for a wheel. So, but maybe, if people are out there using a wheel and have recommendations and things like that, I'd be up for hearing it. And this is fine. It's just that every once in a while when you want to sit down and play and drive, it gets to be a hassle when you have to kind of troubleshoot why the thing isn't actually working and stuff. But every time I solve a problem, I get a little bit smarter with it. So generally, it only takes me about 5 minutes now to figure out what's wrong. It's the first time it's taken like that long to figure it out. But we're in business now, so things are going well. Looks like it's about 3 a.m. and this is an 8-hour delivery of potatoes too. So we're going to have quite a while. Looks like the sun might come up in a couple of hours, and we're out on the highway here. We're going to Oregon. Haven't been there before, so might be nice. I'd like to see some rain in America. We have yet to see any different weather and stuff, but we'll kind of crank along here for a couple hours, and then see you about sunrise or so. I can kind of catch up on things I've done since our last episode and talk about random stuff. So see you in a little bit. So we've got about 6.5 hours left for about 2 hours into the drive. We're stuck behind some slow traffic here. There's this slow truck up ahead of us, but we are cutting across eastern Oregon, and the sun's coming up, so I thought this might be a good time to kind of dial in and check out the scenery as we go through. It's pretty up here. It's in the nature, kind of winding roads up in some light mountains and stuff. But yeah, we're kind of stuck behind a slow truck, so there's nothing we can do about that. But one of the things I was wondering about too, and maybe people have suggestions, is what should we do next? And what should we work towards next in the game? I was thinking that it's about time. I've been upgrading the truck pretty much. Between this episode and the last episode, upgraded to level 8, and that allowed us to buy some, I think, chassis improvements that allowed the truck to work better with heavy loads. So I got that, and then kind of a little bit more kind of splashy items got attached to the truck as well. So spent money on that, but I've noticed that as I've been buying that stuff, it doesn't leave, we're not really saving much money with the loan that we've got, the $100,000 loan, and then upgrading everything when we level up with the truck. We're at $14,000, which is it's a long way away from the 180 we need to. Wow, it's pretty up here now, huh? Let's take a look. Sorry, distracted. But it's a long way away from the money we need in order to be able to buy a base and hire a driver and stuff like that. So here we go. Nice little views here. All right. Because I think it's the same, right? It's 180,000 for a base like it is in Euro Truck Simulator. And that would be nice to get. So I think it's probably about time to make a push for that. And one of the things I was thinking even of doing is taking out a bigger loan and getting the base and the driver right away. And that would allow us to continue to upgrade the truck as we go along. So I might do that in the next episode, because if we took out a $400,000 loan, repaid the outstanding balance on the existing loan, we'd have about $300,000 or so, and that would allow us to buy a base and a truck driver, which would allow us to generate some income to pay off the loan. That's how the whole system, I think, is supposed to work. So maybe we'll just do that next time. Get a base and get a driver, get a bigger loan and pay it off. And then we'll be kind of paying off that loan for a while, but we still should be able to start making money off of our drivers and stuff here too. So, this is really cool up here. Boy, it kind of does make me feel like a lot of what we're driving so far in American Truck Simulator it's pretty arid stuff. I mean, obviously New Mexico was very dry. Idaho seems pretty dry as well, but not expecting Oregon. Although I guess the eastern part, is pretty dry, huh? But we should start getting into wetter stuff as we get towards the ocean here, kind of towards the western half of Oregon. So we'll see how that goes. But so maybe we'll kind of work towards a base and get a driver, and then kind of keep upgrading the truck and trucking along. And now that we're in Oregon and the Idaho event is over, maybe it's time to explore Oregon a little bit. I feel like we did a pretty good job in Idaho, although each state we've been to so far, Idaho and New Mexico, still has a lot of stuff left to do in it. And I'd like to pick an achievement to work for in this as well. So anyway, lots of things to think about, lots of things to do. There's never a lack of things to do in the game. And it's probably worth mentioning that I noticed that there are hidden achievements in the American Truck Simulator game. 5 new ones, I think. So those must be the achievements for Wyoming, which is the next DLC. And usually, if it's like Iberia, I think the achievements kind of come into the game not a long time before the DLC gets released. So I think the last time I checked, there was no date on the Wyoming DLC, but it must be coming pretty soon. So that'll be something to do as well. And I imagine there's probably going to be an event in Euro Truck Simulator at some point soon too, because they really haven't had one in that game since Iberia came out. This is a nice little drive here. Steady driving. Kind of lost that truck. It picked up its speed and stuff. But we'll keep bypass. Nice. That's 3 bypasses in a row. Been nice to us here. Fly right by that. Anyway, we'll keep chugging along here. It's about 6 o'clock in the morning. We have some breakfast in the truck. Maybe have some cookies. And then we'll keep plugging along, and we'll check in when we're about halfway done with the drive. So it's we're about halfway done. I ended up going and getting gas, and then we needed to sleep a little bit too. A little bit early, but wanted to make sure we didn't get sleep deprived out here in the middle of nowhere, it looks like. So we picked up 8 hours of sleep, which makes it about 6:30 at night now. So we slept through most of the day here. We got a full tank of gas, and we got loaded up with energy in terms of sleep. So this is a fun drive. It's really flat out here, and still pretty arid. There was a section in there where it started to look a little bit more. Looks a little bit like a little bit of a rainier climate, a little bit of a wetter climate, but now it's reverted back to this, and boy, no mountains, just flat landscape for as far as you can see. I mean, I guess there's some hills out in front of us, and this 2-lane, just kind of winding road. We can go about 60 miles an hour, so it's been a fun drive. I was thinking too, one of the things I have not done yet in either Euro Truck Simulator or American Truck Simulator is flip the truck and put it on its side anywhere. So I mean, it's gonna happen sometime, right? At some point I have to just do something stupid. I've done pretty much every stupid thing in both games so far. At some point I have to flip the truck sideways, but so far so good. So well, you can take a look from the outside of the truck here. Let's look at the mirrors. There we go. This is hard. Whoa. Okay, I can't drive like this. I can only drive in the truck. But here's a view from outside, so a lot of flat wheeling here. But yeah, we'll keep trucking along, making progress. Whoa, and we'll touch base as we get with about 2 hours or so left. Gosh, I'm like all over the road. I'm probably tempting fates here by saying I have never flipped the truck. Of course we're gonna flip the truck pretty soon. I imagine that's expensive, because it was expensive when I destroyed the truck in Euro Truck Simulator, when I parked over that gate to fix the bug in the software, and then the gate shot us into the woods. And there was a full total, that was 150 something thousand euros, I think, because it totally destroyed the truck at 100% damage. So imagine if you flip it on its side, that's got to be pretty close to that. So I don't think I want any part of that. Anyway, we'll keep plugging along here and see you in a couple hours. Got about an hour and 45 minutes left, and I think it's safe to say we're out of the arid territory now. We're into this forest as we kind of head towards the central and western portion of Oregon. So we've got another slow truck in front of us as we come down the other side of this hill, this mountain here. But been a nice drive. One of the things I do notice, the towns in American Truck Simulator seem quite large. So you'll have these stretches where you can, you're on that 19 minutes to 1 minute time scale for a long time, and you can just chew up the miles and the time and the delivery. And then if you hit a town, like we went through Bend, and it probably took about 10 minutes, 5 or 10 minutes to go through Bend. And that was, I think, at that reduced like 3 minutes to 1 minute time scale, which is, I think, what you get in the cities. And so that really slowed it down. You drive it for like 10 minutes, but you're not really making that much progress on the delivery. Whereas in Euro Truck Simulator, I feel like that doesn't happen as often. There seem to be longer stretches where you can just go in Euro Truck Simulator than in American Truck Simulator. But maybe that's just the part of American Truck Simulator I've seen so far. And the traffic lights do slow things down as opposed to the rotaries for sure. But we are heading off into the sunset here. About an hour and 23 minutes left in our drive. And, oh, that looks cool. What's that? Oh, that was like a mini town or something. But, yeah, it's been a really fun drive. I'm excited to explore Oregon a little bit. Maybe we'll stick around here. I do want to do a couple of those big potato deliveries because they pay really well. We could use the money for sure. As we slept, we had to pay off another $1,800 in our loan, so we're only at $12,000 now. It's tough to make forward progress when we're paying off our loan and kind of upgrading the truck all the time. Well, I guess upgrading the truck is forward progress, of course, too. And the other thing I was thinking about as I was just driving now, too, is I'd really like to start exploring some mods for American Truck Simulator. So if you have some suggestions on mods I should be looking at, I'd like to start putting some of those in, too, because this is just vanilla, 100% vanilla. And I think one of the reasons why I did that, too, is that after they upgraded to 1.40 and the graphics engine changed, I think a lot of the mods had to be tweaked, so I haven't kind of spent too much time re-exploring the mod situation. And then, of course, during that time came right over to American Truck Simulator, so really haven't driven much with American Truck Simulator at all. So a lot of mods to explore, which is, there's so many things to do in this game, isn't there? So, I mean, I really like the achievements and kind of earning the achievements and working towards those. Those are fun. The events are fun. just exploring and seeing new places is really fun too. But then you've also got the modding scene and developing your truck, building your company. There's a lot of different ways to play the game, isn't there? Which is one of the reasons why it's so much fun. But well, it looks like we are at nightfall now. We've got a little bit under an hour left in our drive. And so far it's perfect too. I almost ran a yellow light a couple times, but the yellow lights in American Truck Simulator seem considerably more generous than they are in Euro Truck Simulator, where it seems like you have to get almost all your truck through in Europe, otherwise you're going to get dinged for a red light violation. Here it seems to be, if you're kind of halfway through, you're okay maybe. But anyway, we'll keep plugging along here and see you as we get closer to our final destination. Looking forward to a new parking challenge. Blah. Gah! I was waiting for the light, and then I looked at the microphone settings on OBS to just check them, and I didn't see any sound taken. I'm like, oh crap, is the sound working on the microphone? So I was staring at that and checking, and I decided I would just say something. And while I was doing that, the light turned green, and then I saw it, and as I started up, it turned yellow, and yeah. So just after saying how generous they are in American Truck Simulator, you get dinged for a $600 yellow light fine. But, oh well, what can you do? I think, too, the fines in the game must be proportional to your level, right? Because I was watching FM Greeno, and his fine was only like $100 when he was early on. And I noticed that my fines have gotten more and more expensive in both games, so it must be proportional to what level you are in the game. Because it feels like they're getting more expensive now in this game, too. Anyway, neither here nor there. We'll see in a little bit. We're almost home. So here we are in Eugene. It's actually just on this drive we've picked up 4 of the 14 cities in Oregon. So that's pretty cool. Looks like we got to go right here. Lousy turn. And we must be almost here. Is this a Wallbird or something? What is this? Foods. All right, it makes sense. Taking potatoes in here. Let's see what kind of parking challenge we get. I am ready. Oh, I think we've seen this one, right? This is one where it's 40, but it's actually kind of hard because you have to go around from the other side here. Yeah, okay, so we'll try this one. We're going to go right and then back it all the way around. The parking challenges in American Truck Simulator are definitely a level of degree harder than they are in American Truck Simulator, in Euro Truck Simulator. Alrighty, it's looking pretty good. This took a while to get this in here. It was long backup. This is a long trailer too. There we go. In. So we are home. I do need to take a screenshot of this one too, but I'll be right back. Just as kind of a point, this is kind of cool. This is an added feature, I think, in 1.41 where you can change the day and time for your screenshots. So even though it's 10 o'clock at night, and basically what I want is a thumbnail that's bright for the video, right? And I think it's about 11 o'clock, so it'd be this, which is not a good thumbnail picture. And I forgot to take one during the drive. But if I come back here like this, I can make it 4 o'clock in the afternoon, which is much, much better. So that's just kind of a little feature. If you haven't seen that yet, it's pretty cool. Lower this down, and here we have our final delivery. That'll work pretty well. And we have our screenshot. So I'll just putz around with this, and then we'll wrap up the delivery. Now we are back at nighttime. Let's see how we did. I think it's about $10,000 was that one, so that's pretty good. But the potato deliveries don't pay that much compared to the event. But the big potato deliveries, those are always looks like the highest ones for. Wow, we got a lot of the way towards level 9 there too. They're some of the highest ones, those big potatoes. So I think we want to do 3 more of those big potatoes. 883 experience, $12,000. Nice. So that'll wrap us up. And there we go. Idaho Spuds, 7 out of 7. Personal goal completed. Excellent. And we should have gotten that achievement too for the potatoes. It must have popped up. But so good progress. Got a potato achievement done and finished the Idaho Spuds event. Woo! And I think if we look quickly here, just to kind of think about next things, I wonder if there are potatoes available here. No, it doesn't look like it, huh? So maybe not all the cities have the potatoes, because I know we picked one up in New Mexico right at the start of the event, which was kind of baffling. Like, why would the Idaho potato be way down in New Mexico and need to get back to Idaho? But anyway, that's another mystery. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe there's no potatoes here and we're done with the big potatoes, but this looks pretty cool. Heavy bulldozer. But anyway, I get distracted. Thanks so much for tuning in. If you've enjoyed it, please leave a thumbs up. And if you're new, please consider subscribing. Should have episodes in Euro Truck Simulator and American Truck Simulator coming out a couple times a week going forward. And we'll see you in the next episode. Let me know what you think we should go for, if you've got any ideas for mods and stuff like that. Or if you have suggestions for wheels, if I were to think of upgrading this 10-year-old Logitech driving force wheel. Thanks a lot for tuning in. Have a great weekend, everybody.